use a firmer voice. That's your conversational voice.
Kaden. Are you kidding me right now?
Wow.
It is Supernanny Saturday, and today we are watching a family where a toddler kicks his mom right in the face. And in addition to that, he has been kicked out of 2 different schools. I have not seen this clip before, but I do know that it's one of the most popular ones on the YouTube channel for Supernanny, so I figured it was worth a watch. If you're new here, I'm Kristen. I'm an educator and mom of 2 myself. We use Supernanny as a jumping off point to discuss discipline techniques. So grab your beverage and let's dive into this one. Ooh.
Kaden is the most
Hard
energetic
hit.
kid I have ever met.
Spitting, throwing.
Stop it right now.
Every parent has chased a kid at some point.
Throw things, hit.
That was not the first time he's thrown an item. That was a launch. Ouch, hard
You're hurting me,
hits.
Kaden. Behavior. Why is this mum not doing anything about this?
Why doesn't mom do anything about this? Well, we don't really know. And we also do know that she's a single parent, so she doesn't have a lot of support. We also don't know if this child is neurodivergent. It just feels very judgmental. And what worries me about TV shows like this is I feel like it gives people the audacity to go out into the wild and then judge other families when you don't know what's going on. So if you're out in the wild and you see a child misbehaving and you see a parent who's doing their best, kindness is free. Either keep to yourself, say nothing, or help in some way. Sometimes what I do when I'm in the checkout line and I'm not with my own kids and I see another parent and you could tell that they're tired, right? The kid is touching everything at the checkout line, every bag of chip, every candy. And I turn to them and I go, oh, wow, you like the yellow bag? Yeah. Is yellow your favorite color? What else is yellow? And the next thing you know, the child's a little distracted, talking to me as long as the parent's okay with it. And then they get out of there and it's like, kindness is free. Just do something nice or don't say anything at all, right? Isn't that the quote? If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. You
Extremely naughty.
Look at that old
You're
school
gonna
TV.
fall, Kaden. No, you're not gonna climb on the television. You're gonna fall out the snow is what you're gonna do. No, you need to not climb. No one's gonna play with you, Kaden, when you're being angry. We're not gonna play with you when you're like this.
There is a lot of talking going on and not a lot being said. Mom says, no, don't climb on that, don't climb on that. And if you do this, nobody's going to play with you. You have given your child 0 usable information. Children do not wake up in the morning and go, I wonder how I can piss off my mommy and daddy today. No, they do things because they are either curious or bored. And you might look at me and say, well, Kristen, my kid does it for attention. No, no, no. Attention is boredom. If they were engaged in an activity, then they wouldn't be seeking your attention because they would either have your attention because you're doing the activity with them, or they're engaged in an activity that doesn't even need your attention because it's so much fun. And you say, well, what am I supposed to do? Entertain my child all day? No, you have to teach them what to do when they're bored. Just like you teach them what to do when they're curious. Let's take scissors, for example. You put scissors on a counter. What is a young child gonna do? Do, 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 do. Boop. They touch the scissors. And what does the adult do? No, don't touch those scissors. You, again, have given the child 0 usable information. So instead, you say, oh, wow, you saw these scissors on the counter, so you wanted to touch them because they look shiny and you saw me playing with it earlier. When you want to touch something, come find me. And depending on their developmental level, you practice it and you say, let's say they only say 2 words and they're very young. You say, touch, please, and then practice with them. Put some, maybe not scissors because that could go wrong, but put, a lip gloss or whatever. You see this? This looks so interesting. I'm going to put it on the counter, say touch, please. And you teach the child a skill, which is how to handle their curiosity.
Do not bite me. You don't bite, that hurt.
He bit her in her private area. It's just crazy.
We're gonna go sit down.
I'm gonna pee my pants in.
Do not pee your pants.
We're escalating.
His pants. Don't pee your pants.
Yep, he's...
You are in big trouble. It's not funny. I can't believe you did that, Kaden. That was really bad.
We're escalating. Some kids will pee in their pants. Some kids will hold their breath and scare you as if they're going to stop breathing. Some kids throw things. Some kids threaten to hurt you or threaten to hurt themselves or actually hurt you and hurt themselves. And then while they're doing all of this, they're laughing and giggling, and it might be a complete trigger, which makes you even more aggressive as a caregiver because it's a mess.
No biting. We do not bite.
I mean, you couldn't get any worse, really, than what's happening here.
Don't you want to go play? No, you don't bite. No, we're not going to take a bath.
Did you guys hear that? He said, I want to take a bath, which makes me wonder, was he thinking that if he peed in his pants, that he would get special bath time with mom? Maybe he enjoys bath time. Maybe that's a time where mom gives him undivided attention. Really start to look at patterns for your child. What is my child seeking? It's like diagnosing where headaches come from. The headache can be hormonal. The headache could be a pinched nerve in your neck. The headache could be maybe you're allergic to something. You have to look underneath. And hearing what this child is saying about the bath makes me wonder, did he pee in his pants because he gets one-on-one time with mom in the bath?
But the first time you started to notice that he was becoming more challenging was Harold. How old was he?
About 15 months he started just, acting out. But at about 3, beginning of this year, it just really started.
So at school, they'd noticed this behavior?
Yeah, he was taken out of 2 schools.
Right.
So many people will look at this and blame mom. And I see something completely different. I want you to think of newborns. When newborns come home, you have some newborns who sleep so well. Don't we just hate those parents? I'm just kidding. It's so nice. We're happy for them. The parents who get the babies who sleep really well, I'm very happy for you. But there are other babies who don't sleep well. Do you look at the parent and say that it's their fault? No, because they have different temperaments. That's what's so annoying and frustrating to me is you'll have this mother who comes in and goes, well, all you have to do is just swaddle your baby really tight and then you put them in their bed and they sleep well. And so you're like, okay, taking notes. And then you go home with your baby and you swaddle them just the way that they say to swaddle them, and your baby doesn't sleep like that. It's not the parent's fault, but there's a caveat, but there are things that you can implement if you have a child with a difficult temperament. It goes the same way for toddler behaviors. Some kids, all you have to do is say, well, you know what? If you get in bed, I'll give you an M&M in the morning. And boom, they're sleeping in bed. And then other kids, it doesn't matter if you promise them all the M&Ms in the world. It's just this child is going to need more interventions than a typical child.
Mum decided that she would leave Caden alone and quietly colour with Kayla. However, Caden decided he would not be ignored.
That's mine.
It's gone now. You do not hit people with your toys. That's a weapon.
It's a tool for fighting. You give him a tool for fighting, and then he comes in, he pokes you with it. What do you think he's going to do with the toy? He's 3 years old, and you gave him a tool for fighting. You did this. Now, some kids you wouldn't need to do anything with, and you just tell them once, and then they know this is how I use this. Other kids need more. This child probably needs more guidance on how to play with this toy, or maybe this toy is just above his ability to play with.
You're pulling my hair out. Stop it right now. No, you have lost the toy. You are not playing with that toy. Are you tired? Why are you hurting me? Stop.
So many questions. Are you tired? Why are you hurting me? The kid doesn't know he's 3. I see a child who needs help. I see a child who is distressed and they don't know what to do with themselves. I don't see a malicious child who's trying to ruin his mom's day. He's struggling. This is a child who's struggling.
This boy is so angry and aggressive with his behaviour that a warning is not going to be effective for him. he's going to need a one strike and you're out, which is a technique that's going to help him cool down first so we can diffuse all of this anger.
Joe Frost thinks that we need a technique of one strike and you're out. So she is making the consequences stricter. How do I feel about this? This could go either way. When it comes to children who have difficult temperaments, sometimes the more strict you are with the consequences, the worse the behavior becomes. And it doesn't mean you're going to let them do whatever they want. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this might not be the way to go about it. Think about people, adults. Some adults spend time in jail their whole lives. They get caught with a crime, they go to jail. They serve their time, they come back out, they do the same crime, they go back to jail. And so on and so forth. Punishments aren't always effective, and consequences aren't always effective. But teaching that person how to get their needs met would be more effective. So let's say the person who's going to jail, it's because they're doing drugs. Well, hello, we might have an addiction problem. They need some help. Or maybe they're robbing banks. Well, why are they robbing banks? Do they need money? Do they not know how to get a job? Do they not know how to set up their life so that they're successful? Like, simply implying that people need stricter punishments and consequences is usually not the issue.
Kaden, Kayla!
By the time Mum finished working out in the gym, Caden was totally rolled up. And poor old Kayla, she was just bored stiff. It must have been around 9 o'clock before Mum even got the kids into their bedrooms.
Joe Frost has now come back from the gym with Mom. Mom took the kids to the gym, met up with a friend. The kids were in the kid area. Joe Frost talks about how kids need a consistent dinner time, bath time, and all of that stuff to get ready for bed and be settled. And I want to talk about the difference between a kid-centric life and an adult-centric life. In a kid-centric life, everything revolves around the kid. That means that everything that the adults do has to be in the best way for the kids. And then the opposite, vice versa, with the adult-centric is like, too bad, so sad for the children. Doesn't matter if you're hungry or tired or whatever, we're going to do this. There's so much more nuance to this situation. If you have a child with a temperament that's pretty chill, you can probably go to dinner late and then still make it work and put them in bed and they're good to go. If you have a child who struggles with routines and they need a consistent dinner time and bedtime, you have to start them where they are, and what she's doing isn't working.
After we'd finished doing the routine, Caden decided to pick up one of Mum's photo frames and throw it. And that was a perfect opportunity for me to kick in with a cool down technique.
That's not okay to blow your
Stop
nose.
it!
Use your firmer voice. That's your conversational voice.
Kaden. Are you kidding me right now?
Wow.
Well, there's the punch. There's the punch.
And then Caden got defiant and took his clothes off.
We are almost 2 hours into this tantrum. Ooh, the stamina.
Eventually, we did see Caden calm down and he came out of his room.
When Kaden came out with his clothes on, apologizing, it made me feel hopeful that this is going to work as long as I stay consistent.
This was just a clip, so maybe let me know if you're interested in watching this full family episode so that we can see how these techniques work. It's not to say that timeout isn't effective for some children. It's just that it's only one tool in your toolbox, and your most effective tool is always going to be figuring out what the need is, teaching them how to fulfill that need in an appropriate way. Children who misbehave are just missing a skill. Some kids pick up on the skill quickly. Some kids need way more practice. Whew, that was a lot. I will see you guys next week. Bye.